Welcome to Insights into Success, where with your host Paul Dodds, we hope to educate, inspire and motivate you to achieve your own personal success. We talk to guests from all around the world from a variety of walks of life to hear the realities of their own journey to success. What challenges have they faced, how have they coped with failure, and what have been the keys or will be the keys to their own success. In our Ready to Succeed interviews, we talk books that have inspired our guests, and for some, they share their secrets to marketing success. Join us as we give you insights into success. Well, welcome back to Insights into Success, where we're just going to do a little quick segment now called Ready to Succeed, and our guest Athena has agreed to return and share with us a little bit about books that she's read and why they've inspired her on her journey. So, Athena, take it over.
Okay, my dear. Well, this is an interesting topic. I read a lot of books that are practical. I like hearing about other people's experiences. So, one I'd like to put out there is called Ready, Fire, Aim. And that's by Michael Masterson. And he takes you through the journey of starting through hitting 1 million, 10 million, 100 million, with lots of really interesting examples along the way and also practical knowledge of what you need to do to get kind of that next level. So I really like the idea of ready, fire, aim because it also aligns with my perspective on just getting out there and doing things. Like it doesn't have to be perfect. It's like that's what it's ready, fire, aim is the whole premise of it. So love that book. I'm really into Hormozi, Alex Hormozi. He has written $100 million offers. It's a fantastic way for anyone who's looking to build a service, a product, and really design it properly. I think Alex is an absolute genius. I love The Infinite Game by Simon Sinek. He is a fantastic author, and I love the concept of playing for the long term, where everyone wins. Being a leader that thinks with long-term concepts, having a business and a brand that thinks with long-term concepts instead of the finite financial immediate gains. And I think that any business or person that does think infinitely, they win and help others win in the long term. I read so many books, Paul. I could go on forever.
So how often do you read? So tell me about that. Like, how often do you read? How are you?
I'm usually reading a book all the time. Like I'll binge sometimes, so I don't have like a consistency, especially let's say I'm on a flight. I don't watch movies. I'll listen to audio books. That's my thing. If I'm in the gym, like instead of listening to music, I'm usually listening to an audio book or a podcast because I mean, sometimes I'll put some music on, but I just feel like it's so much more productive to be doing that.
Yeah. And what's your preferred style of reading? Like, do you read using a traditional book? You prefer Kobo, Kindle, audio books?
I do mainly audio. Good to Great is another one. Start with Why is another one. Expert Secrets is another one. I got so many of these. I'm like obsessed. But I think that most CEOs or people who are successful, they do consume a lot of content. I know my business partner, Dan Ashburn, he is literally listening to podcasts. We love The Diary of the CEO. That's one of our favorites. He's fantastic. And just, we book, what do you call it? We have like our own little book club between my business partner and I, where we're kind of listening to, or reading the same book, and then we can discuss. And so I also think that's fantastic to do either with your spouse or the people on your team. And then we started to actually do it with all of our employees as well. So all of us will be reading a book, and then we actually come together. In fact, there's a book called No BS Leadership that we had our entire team read. And what's so funny is that book is about the leaders letting the team members take over and not having as much control. And so our team loved it. They're like, we have the control. It was great. So I think it's so important because if you want to level up, you have to learn from people that are smarter than you. I mean, it's just an obvious, I mean, that's like one of the biggest life hacks that people might not pay enough attention to. Find people who are more successful than you, learn from them, pretty easy.
Or even just had experiences in advance of you, so that you might be going to go down the same path as them, but they've already been there and they can tell you about, their challenges and how they overcame them. And that's the point of, I guess, this show. And it's the point of also the Read to Succeed, is that reading is a shortcut in your journey, why not learn from others that have already taken the journey that you want, as opposed to going off and experiencing things that you could have avoided with the help of reading a book? Or to your point, if you're into Amazon, doing a course like you've got, where you're learning from others, you're learning from their mistakes, so that you hopefully won't make those mistakes. It just seems
Exactly.
obvious, logical. Why reinvent the wheel? Take from other people's learnings and speeding up your journey.
I love that. Well, I think you are doing such a great job in bringing on guests and helping other people learn from their journeys and their mistakes. So thank you for that. But yeah, I read a lot. I could go on and on, but I think anything that's just in that genre of business, entrepreneurship, marketing,
Yeah,
sales, leadership, and also
yeah,
mindset, I think is part of what I'm really into.
yeah. Now, tell me about retention of what you read. Now, as you're talking before, like getting all your staff to read that same book, or talking through a book with your business partner. To me,
Mhm.
that would be great for retention, because if you're having to have discussions on what you've read, it helps you to retain it. But outside of that, what do you do, or is there anything in particular you do to help retain important information? Like, do you take down notes, or do you do anything in particular?
Um, I personally don't, because I'm pretty good at just retaining. I know that I have friends that like to have physical books and just like go through them and highlight things. If there's anything
Yeah,
really special, I'll usually I will take out a note for it, but for the most part, I just retain it. I just like listening to it and it just somehow ends up in my head.
right.
But I think
So
everyone's
even
different. What?
yeah, yeah. I mean, so for you, audiobooks, you don't that doesn't compromise your ability to retain listening to an book while you're at the gym or anything?
I love the audio. I don't like the physical, but I think it's also really important for people to find out what style they love the most, because I used to not read very much until I realized that I could listen, because that's how I enjoy consuming
Yeah,
information. So I think it's just so important whether you like the physical book. I think probably the best is having both, like listening while you have the physical book's also a really good way. And there's some books
yeah,
that I do get the actual physical book because they have diagrams or things that like I need to have to follow along properly. But,
sure.
some of the books, instead of retaining it all perfectly, I'll listen to it 2 or 3 times until I do. So that's
Right.
another thing that I might
Yeah,
do. Yeah.
yeah. Makes sense. Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much, Athena, for
Thanks,
spending
Paul.
some of your time with us. It's an absolute pleasure.
Me too.
We will hopefully be staying in touch. I'll certainly want to, when we go to publish this, share with everyone your contact details, so anyone that's interested can get in touch. And can't imagine people not being inspired by listening to this interview with you.
You're
And
an angel.
if they're not already thinking of Amazon, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people did, because, yeah, of your delivery and your inspiration. So thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
You're so kind. Really appreciate your time. Thank you for having me.